Well, welcome to Mexican Halloween. Presented to you by a genuine, authentic Mexicano hasta las cachas. What if I told you that this celebration has nothing to do with Halloween? The story of Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, is not what you think. It's not about fear or ghosts or sadness. It's really more like a 3,000-year-old love letter to life. A letter to life on the very bones of death itself. Primero y dos de noviembre, el Día de los Muertos, celebramos. Those were the words. When I joined the choir here in 2010, I didn't join the choir, but Rick gathered up some guitarists and mandolin and bass guitar, and all of a sudden we sang that song. And it was this church that introduced to me, Mexicano hasta las cachas, the Day of the Dead. Wonderful. Primero y dos de noviembre, in Mexico and communities all around the world, quiet cemeteries that have been kind of dormant all of a sudden have come to life. And a symphony of color and light tones with a sweet scent of marigolds and the smell of freshly baked bread as this special time, as the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead becomes thin enough to whisper this profound tradition called Dia de los Muertos. This is a story of experience of how ancient people learned to welcome death, not as an end, but as a homecoming. The rituals of the ancient world would later be fused, and there is a hybrid. It's a coming together between the indigenous and church, religion, Christianity, but they came together, and now we have this tradition about life, about love, about the celebration to visit our loved ones in spirit and support, to agradarlos, we say them, to call them in, to entice them in by gifts as they will come to visit us. So this morning, I'm going to just take a moment and walk here for a moment and just show at least the four elements. Papel de picao, that represents air. Okay? We got some bread here. Well, that represents earth. Obviously, the water represents the water, and we have fire. So there was this influence. The indigenous had a different view, a cyclical view of death, but the Christian faith, when it came here, was more linear. But it brought it together, and so these four elements are part of this. But let me just go for a few more there as to what else is in the ofrenda. Notice the flowers, marigolds. I mean, they lay out a trail to entice them in. They decorate altars, and there's been a confusion about ofrendas. I thought an ofrenda was the table itself, the altar, but in Spanish, ofrenda is an offering. But it's literally the same thing. You're putting an offering out there so you can give them an offering to entice them in, and it's put on a table called the ofrenda. But it's just wonderful to see all these elements coming together. You'll see a lot of skulls in this tradition. Sweet skulls. Those are for the children, who are called angelitos, little angels. And we'll put their names on there, on those little skulls. It's important. People will do it. It's all about enticing our loved ones to come visit us. And we put these ofrendas out there, and we put photos. And if you will see, just putting photos here can be very moving. It's very powerful. One of the other things that you'll see is food, drink, and favorite pleasures. A process of remembering. So, if Uncle Jed liked Budweiser, you'd put that Budweiser beer there. And, I might as well tell you, when I die, you might as well put a Ram helmet somewhere, because I love the Rams. But, we honor those things that we knew about them, where you spent time with them, where you shared life and experienced the fullness of it. One other thing, I saw that we have monarchs this year. I didn't realize how prevalent, how strong this was. Many cultures, the connection between in Mexico, such as the Purepecha, they believe the monarch butterflies are spirits of departed loved ones returning to visit. They're also a symbol of hope and remembrance, because the butterfly's journey is seen as a symbol of transformation and the enduring nature of memory that represents a love that never fades. And it also coincides with this holiday, because what are the monarchs doing right now? They're migrating back to the forests of central Mexico, and it just perfectly aligns with this Day of the Dead time. And it makes it even more powerful because of that. And it's a living reminder, because the arrival of the butterflies is viewed as a sign that the spirits are back to participate in the festivities and join their families again, even for only a short time. And then finally, a fifth thing about the butterfly, the belief that monarchs carry spirits is a tradition that has been passed through generations, and it's become a cherished part of the modern interpretation. All I want to say is, you could do whatever you want with this, but you could apply this, and there's no wrong way. Whatever evokes love, whatever reminds you of those you have loved, anything could be applied. It's been modified and redefined, and people are still doing it and will continue to do it. Now, I will tell you that when I was introduced to Dia de los Muertos here, and subsequently now experiencing in other venues, this has become my favorite holiday. More than Christmas. More than, some of these others. Even more than Halloween. This has become the most meaningful, because somewhere along the way, after 2010, my doggie died. Vato. My little dog died, and that was the first taste of grief in my life. It just, if you know, if you feel me right now, that got me. And so, having been introduced to it here, then subsequently to that, my roommate from college, Rodney, who mentored me, who was my best friend in life, who was going to outlive me, so he felt, and took care of himself, was healthy and strong and had a healthy diet. Suddenly, he died. So I'm going to ask them to put my little ofrenda, or version of it, or interpretation of it. It doesn't look like this, does it? It's not colorful. It's not. I'm still learning as I go along, and I'm realizing that what I had done is basically what has been done, suggested in the title of our of the message here, altars of remembrance, and mine is really, you can't read the very tip of those boats, but there's 3 boats there, and it says La Barca de Oro. So La on the first one, Barca on the main one, de Oro on the third one, which is, anybody know that song, La Barca de Oro? Well, there's a line in there that says, I shall fill the oceans, more oceans, I shall create more oceans with my tears, describing how their sadness is so deep they'll never stop crying. And this I used because a neighbor gave me these boats, and all of a sudden after learning what Dia de los Muertos was, I found these boats and I painted them the edge gold and here, and I'm going to make this my ofrenda. Well, it's more an altar of remembrance because I reminisce. And you'll see I have pictures of my family. I've put the ashes of my dog, our dogs, Jenny's dog that recently died. We have our ashes of our dogs. We have pictures. I have a picture of my brother Jerry in a military uniform. I have a picture of my brother-in-law, who's the most recent one to die. Because once Vato died, it started coming. And it keeps coming. But I tell you what, when we experience loss, and we will experience loss, how are you going to process that? What are you going to do with it? You know, when we lose someone, we have, our tears flow from deep within us. And to me, they're like jewels that glisten with the beauty of the past. And though painful, we will heal, and instead, we will experience a love that will never be lost, and we will know what love before death. We can appreciate love before death and life before death. You know, one of the greatest things I've learned here at All Souls is that we acknowledge that we are alive, but we know we're going to die. We know that. We deal with it. And I don't know about you, but for me, that makes me want to live my life before death fully now, in love, in joy, in gratitude. Anything that promotes gratitude, remembering our loved ones, the memories of sharing food and experiencing our love with them will gives me gratitude. And there's nothing better than gratitude to understand, give perspective to our lives. And I hold on to that. So I just want to say that I love Dia de los Muertos because it connects me to what is really important. Connection, gratitude, joy, music, art, reflection, generosity, hope, and memories. Beautiful memories on an altar of love that transcends time and distance. So, I'm so grateful for this church. I'm grateful that this church is not afraid to celebrate traditions that enhance life and just promotes a love beyond belief.